Whether you're new to pool and practicing the basics, or a more experienced player performing drills to improve your shot making and positional play, the Drill Partner is perfect for you.
I am fired up about this one, Mike.
Yeah?
All right. Yeah.
What are you going to say today? What are you going to say today? Give me a hint.
Well, no, it just takes all the fun out of it. Like I like to just be free, and over the last few months, I should say it's been a lot more enjoyable to do shows and just not not tiptoe around things. So I've enjoyed it. That's for sure.
This is something new for you?
Well, I'd say more than usual, to some surprise, I guess. But
okay.
no, man, I've genuinely been enjoying doing shows. Not that I ever didn't. I mean, obviously, sometimes it can become a lull, or oh man, we should do something here or there. But I've been enjoying them, man. Hopefully, you guys at home have as well. It was a great weekend, Mike, in sports. And on that note, I decided to rock the baseball tee because. Tell me you got to see that Game 7, Mike. Tell me you got to watch.
It was seeing some Game 7s. That may have been it was probably the best one that I've ever seen. As far as all the highs and lows and dramatic plays defensively and big hits offensively and big pitching, and it had everything in that one game. And it was just, I didn't really have a dog in the fight. But in a situation like that, I'm pretty much always rooting for the home team because I want to see those fans be able to go nuts, right? I mean, that's like you just dream about that, to be there for the last out of the World Series and you go crazy. And the worst is when you get that close and then someone yanks the carpet out from underneath you and you're just that's suicide watch stuff right there.
Even the series as a whole just had so many
was great.
And like you, I didn't have a dog in the fight, but I'm just an avid lover of sports in general. And there's nothing like, I don't really care what it is. If it's a Game 7, I'm gonna sweat it. Like I'm gonna watch it. I love being on the edge of my seat. And that one, like you said, was
drama.
Yeah, for sure. I can remember so when I would be compared to pool, when I would be betting on pool sometimes. I can remember certain events where I would have decent amount waged per match, and when my guy starts losing, I just get sick to my stomach and I start walking out, I don't want to watch. And then they come back and win, and then of course I can't go back in the arena anymore because they already won while I left, as a true superstitious fan. But yeah, no, that had everything. When they hit the home run in whatever it was, the 8th or the 9th to tie it up.
Well, they hit one in the 8th to bring it to 4-3, and then hit one in the 9th to tie it up. One out.
Yeah. Oh man! But then they loaded them up in the bottom of the 9th to get out of that jam in the bottom of the 9th with bases loaded was just unreal. But that's why I love sports, Mike. I mean, that's why I really we get fired up about topics and everything, but it's the chaos that just happens in sports. I just love, man, and when it's really raw like that, there's nothing better. But when they hit that home run to tie it up in the 9th, you just felt it was just a gut punch to the whole country.
Then they came out in the bottom of the 9th and just started, getting their chance. And then you thought, wow, this is crazy. They're going to pull this back out. And that's why I love all sports and Game 7s and all sports. I love hockey playoffs and Game 7 and hockey is edge of your seat. But in baseball and even football, it's different. There's so much strategy, little bits of strategy. And because baseball takes some time between pitches, you can really focus on stuff and dwell on the strategy and what do I do here? What should this guy do? And what should that guy? And it plays out a little slower than watching hockey or where the action just happens so fast. And so you can watch all of them and go, God, I can't believe they did this or they didn't do this or this guy didn't do that. I can't believe this guy ran this guy over on the wall or whatever the case is.
Such a great catch, man.
It was amazing, And I was curious to see whether Hernandez could have caught that because he had the whole Willie Mays over the shoulder basket thing going and he was on the right track. Whether he would have caught that or not, who knows? But he was going to catch some wall. I know that. But
I love the commitment in that play, because that just epitomizes what like just competing is all about. It's
yeah,
like, you know what? And usually you'll get guys and you'll see them kind of freeze up in those spots where they're like, "Do you got it? Do I
no,
got it?" And they're
no,
looking around. He was
there's
it
the
was not.
wall. I'm going through it. Here's the wall. I'm going through it.
And on that note, there was some great pool as well this weekend. Great competition.
Yep.
Congrats to Jonas Magdenpay for winning the Qatar World 10 Ball World Cup, I guess you would say.
Yeah, what a
And
crazy Four. We watched
qualifying.
all those big names get tossed out when it got to single elimination. They were just dropping like flies, and then you end up with really interesting Final Four.
Well, we're going to jump into that a little bit later on, but first of all, we got to guess, Mike. And this guy's been known to win a few championships in his day as well. He knows what it is.
Yeah,
Be clutch. He's been in I want to say he's been in more World 9-Ball finals than anyone over the last like 10 plus years. Back on the World Championship stage again, Albin Ouschan. Welcome back to the show, man. How are you?
Hi guys, I'm very good. What about you? Nice to be here.
very good. You've been in 4 World 9-Ball finals.
Yes, 4, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, 2 with Shane.
right.
Hold on a second.
Niels.
Oh yeah, Niels and Omar.
Yeah,
Niels was the first one, wasn't it? And that was the one where
Niels was 2014, 2016 with Shane. We're won 2021 with Omar and 2022 with Shane.
yeah.
Did you ever have any one of those moments like following the lost Niels when you're in like in another 9-Ball final where you're like, oh shit, I hope this doesn't happen again. I can't lose another one.
Yeah, maybe for a split second or something. I mean, the final in 2014 pretty much came out of nowhere, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, I think in 2013 I won my first Euro Tour, so I never thought of reaching the final. But I played good, I beat some great names. I beat Chang Yulong in the semifinal, Haley Wen, the Chinese guy, in the quarterfinal. I think Jason last 16 or something. So I had a good run, but in the final it wasn't meant to be. And obviously Niels, I was happy for Niels for winning his first world title. So it looks like I make many others. I make first world champions. Like Niels won the first one against me. Shane won the first one against me.
Yeah.
And but yeah, no, it's totally fine. When you reach a final, it's probably more than you thought of achieving. So of course you would be happy to win, but it was fine. Against Shane, I pretty much had no chance. After like 5-5 or 6-6, he ran away with the score. He played amazing. He made some crazy comebacks, like against Mika in last, I don't even know, 32 or 16.
Yeah.
He had like 1 foot in a grave, or however you say it. So it was crazy. It was and he had some crazy tough draw. So fair play to him.
Yeah.
Do you ever like have these like just being able to reflect and appreciate the sport aspect of it, Albin? Like you mentioned Shane coming back from whatever it was 9-1 or 10-1 to Mika, but like, or are you just so caught up in like the competition part where like you can't kind of pull away from it at all?
Well, of course you heard about it, I mean, there were so many spectators and obviously the camera was there. So we all heard about it, we all watched it pretty much. And I think also against Cole, he was down. Then he had like 2 golden breaks or something in a row, and came back and won this match against Kazakis. He played a perfect match. So, like I said, fair play to him. He played an amazing event. I actually, that's the crazy part. In 2021, I played probably my best event ever, and I won the World 9-Ball. But in 2022, so I got back-to-back finals. But 2022, I was struggling so much. I didn't play good at all. I think I played 1 good match, and it was against Josh. I had a very good draw, I would say. So I think he deserved the win way more than I did in 2022.
I think I remember that match where he was kind of pressing a lot, if I remember.
I was 6-5 up. I played a very good safety, and he's jacked up over the 5 or something. He has to go short rail kick shot, and the 1 ball is all the way down in front of the corner. and he makes it and then hooks me, and then it took a bad turn for me. He played incredible from this point on. Yeah.
Can you feel it in a match when it starts to turn and you're like, I don't know if I can get this back?
Yeah, yeah, of course. I mean, sometimes it turns 2, 3 times, especially on a race to 13, thing with Omar was a little bit the same. I was feeling super confident. I was up, and he came back again. Then I missed a 6 ball, like out of nowhere, and that put me in a very dark place. So I had to focus again, because then he was leading 2, 3 games, and then I said to myself in the chair, I remember I said, "All right, that was your last game." And yeah, from that point on, he didn't make a game anymore. I played pretty much perfect. He played a little bit too aggressive in the end. But that's how it goes sometimes. It's the small decisions you make under pressure, could be right or could be wrong.
Yeah.
Where do those rank up like for you in comparison to another major? Before we came on air, we brought up Hanoi that you played the first year. Heartbreaking loss there at the end, losing to Jason. Like, how does that emotionally kind of rank for you in the overall scheme of things?
Now, you mean winning the World 8 Ball?
Well, I mean, like just in terms of you've obviously been at the highest of highs, and then had some like I don't even want to call them lows because you're still in a final of a World 9 Ball, right? But like Hanoi was very much like nothing but fans. It was the first time, big atmosphere, lots of cameras. I can remember that shot of them getting you like just in tears afterwards. Like,
Mm.
where does that rank for you? Like as far as just moments in your career as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was some rough times. I mean, even before Hanoi, it was the quarterfinal against Sufi, where he had like 5 flukes in a row or something,
Okay, yeah,
where I thought I could maybe go back to back to back, 9 ball finals.
it's
Because I
crazy.
was feeling good, I didn't play my best against Sufi. He's always a tough opponent, but then I was up like 8-7, and then he flukes 4 or 5 balls in a row, and I was like, "What the hell is happening here?" And then in the same year, uh, the Hanoi Open. I mean, it was also unexpected final for me. I could have lost earlier, but I grinded through. I played it. Was a rough tournament, many fans. Um, but I kind of enjoyed it, but it was at one point it was a little bit too much with the fans. I'm not like Fedor who gathers them together to take pictures. I'm a little bit more reserved. I wanna relax and everything. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, it was some heavy losses, and after that, I don't know. It was it was dark. It was it was dark times. I mean, certain events I played really good, but sometimes it was just not enough. They played better, or maybe they had some roles or whatever, maybe better decisions. So also the level increased incredible pace, over the past 2 years. I mean, if you
Yeah,
look at the World 9 Ball or whatever tournament, probably in a field of 128, I would say 50 could reach the semifinal. I think it was
Yeah.
never
Sure.
this crazy, and I cannot think of any other sport where the level at the top is this high, So in the end, it's just small things, it's decisions, it's the mental part, and so yeah, it's rough. And now winning the World 8 Ball, I mean, I don't want to say I'm back or whatever, I'm back on top, but it's a sign, it's a sign, and it's pure relief, and it was just so good. It's hard to find the right word. What I've been through, what kind of messages I had to read, or whatever comments. It's just crazy, because for almost a decade, I won each year between 1 and 3 tournaments, and then for 1.5 years just didn't go my way many ways, many times. So to read those messages was hurting, but maybe it also helped me to work harder myself, and come back stronger and practice
Did you
eight
work
ball.
hard? Did you work harder before the 8 ball? Did you just go in there thinking, well, I'm not going to put too much pressure on myself. I'm just going to fire away and see what happens.
Well, eight ball was never my favorite discipline. I gotta admit that. Of
Your sister
course,
said the same. Your sister said the same thing, and all she did was win the World 8 Ball
yeah,
too.
yeah. I mean, maybe it's because of our father. He was a genius. He was a genius in eight ball. He was very feared when it came to eight ball. So
Really?
Is that right?
yeah, yeah, he was Austrian champion many times back in the days. So back in the days they only played eight ball.
They only played 8
So
Ball, yeah.
but yeah, obviously I understand the game. But I mean, we
Yeah.
have like two tournaments per year. We got the European Championships eight ball, and we got, I think, in the quarterfinal, and we got the World eight ball. And obviously, it was a very, very long trip, so it's hard to prepare for three different disciplines, for a 5, 6 week trip. So
Yeah.
eight ball in the end. And if someone watched my very first match at the World eight ball, they probably thought, did he ever play eight ball before? Because I swear I was so embarrassed. I should have really lost the match against this young kid from Indonesia. I was lost on the table straight away with shot clock. I was lost. I made a plan after the break, and then after two balls, I figured that's actually not a good plan. So let's do another plan, and then again after two balls, it was done.
Yeah.
But yeah, he messed up. But the more the tournament continued, I felt more relaxed. I felt better, and then obviously the second last day, three matches in a row, and the last one I made 9 break-and runs. So I made an 8 pack against Bader, and so yeah, from then on I
Yeah.
was
Right.
relaxed. I saw the patterns very easy after the break, and felt very, very comfortable.
Yeah.
What
Well,
was
you
the best
whitewash.
game? Go ahead, Mike.
I
No,
said you
go ahead.
whitewash batter,
Yeah,
and then you go from a whitewash 10-0 to a hill
until
grinder.
Hill. Yeah, yeah. From making an 8 pack, I went to 7 or 8 dry breaks. So yeah, it was crazy. I broke from 5 different spots or whatever. I even broke on the third ball, I believe. But gladly he made two kind of strange mistakes or unexpected mistakes that kept me alive. And 9-9, I just thought I give it a good old whack, from the center, and the one ball that dropped was invincible for me until like an inch before the pocket, and then it dropped with the pocket speed and was just pure relief. And then I thought, all right, let's do it.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
What was the best piece of advice your dad ever gave y'all as kids when it came to pool or life or whatever, Alvin?
Chalk your cue.
That's usually a pretty
Yeah.
good one, huh?
Yeah, yeah, he always had to tell me. He was always watching and always gave me signs, to chalk the cue, because obviously, I mean, the last thing when you're 8, 10 years old, you don't really care about chalking the cue. You just want to play as quick as possible. So that was probably, yeah, I would have miscued many times without that sign.
Did you and Jasmine have a laugh about both winning the World 8 Ball in the same year? That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. First, I didn't even think about it. Then Vincent came and said, "Oh, how crazy is that you're winning both the World 8 Ball in the same year?" So yeah, I mean, it's a crazy story. I don't know if that ever happened in another sport. Um, I
I
don't
doubt it.
watch enough sports to know anything about it, but I think maybe, yeah, with the first ones.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
That's a pretty great accomplishment for sure. You mentioned like the highs and the lows of your career, Albin. At certain times, it got kind of dark, and so what did it feel like to get back on top of the mountain, so to speak, in terms of winning the World 8 Ball? It's to me, it's probably like the least controlled break you can have. So like it's such a tough game to go and win. So what did it feel like for you after all that time to be back on top?
The moment the 8 ball dropped, I mean, I I had two chances before. One was a terrible miss, also wrong decision. Then a little bit of pressure kicked in after that unexpected miss. So the second chance I didn't take was pretty much because of pressure and also time pressure a little bit. And then I got the third chance. Obviously, I had a good lead. So on the third chance, I thought, just get your things together. And, you can do it, obviously. And so, yeah, it was rough. I don't know if you saw it. I mean, the three ball down the long rail, I think my heart stopped for 2 seconds until it dropped. And, but then it was kind of an easy out. But the eight ball, I remember I was shaking so bad. I didn't know how to breathe properly, and I didn't know when to shoot. It kicked in really bad. But yeah, I when I saw I made it center pocket, I didn't know if I should jump on the table or cry or laugh or whatever, or just scream. It was yeah, just pure relief. It's like when I was standing on the podest with the trophy, it was like a little movie inside my head. So I closed my eyes and just enjoyed the moment to be there again, and I was just super proud of myself.
Yeah, good for you. That's a cool story. The
Thank you.
you talk about how nervous you were and how you were shaken coming up to that last eight ball, and it's interesting because you've been in these situations before. You've been high pressure with the Mosconi Cup, and you're very you're very disciplined, athletically and preparation wise. You've always been with good conditioning and breathing techniques and all that stuff. But still, in a moment like that, it can all go out the window, can't it?
Yeah, yeah, of course. It was 1.5 years where I didn't win anything. I didn't get that feeling of a semifinal or final. Before that, like the other World Nine Balls, I was used to winning.
Yeah,
I was used to winning tournaments, like one or sometimes three per year. So and I kind of lost that feeling, that to know how the body reacts. Obviously, I think the last time I was this lost in my mind was I think I told this story when I played against Earl at the Moscone. I was in shock. I didn't know what to do. I didn't even know how
He
to
was
how
up on you
to.
too, if I remember right. He was up like 3-1.
Yeah, yeah. He played a very bad shot. I think instead of to the side pocket, he tried it to the corner,
right,
missed it, and that was the comeback for me. It would have been 3-0, and then he didn't make another game.
right.
So yeah, I remember the first 15 minutes, I didn't know what to do. I didn't see the patterns. I didn't see any ways to run out or anything. So yeah, that was probably the last time I was that lost on the pool table.
And is it because your mind's moving so fast, or you're trying to think of too many things at one time, or you're doubting yourself
Yeah, it's
while you're trying to
just
think of things, or what's the?
yeah. I mean, the body reacts, to certain things, and especially at the Mosconi Cup against Earl, it was just the 2,000 people screaming at you, want you to lose. They talk on every single shot. So I mean, obviously that's a different situation compared to the World Eight Ball.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, World Eight Ball was just don't fuck it up.
yeah,
Words to
yeah,
live
Just
by. Words to live by. Yeah.
yeah, it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
get your things together and run out. You got a good lead, you're playing good, you're confident. Just get that trophy and yeah. So that was pretty much everything I was thinking of. But on that eight ball, I got out of position two, three times, and obviously in this situation, you're thinking about the past two racks where you could have already closed it out. So because of that, put a little bit more pressure on myself and but yeah, I'm glad it's over. And but yeah, I'm just super happy about it.
What
Yeah.
what advice would you give an amateur Albin when it comes time to whether it's a important game or a match closing game or the money ball? What piece of advice would you give to someone when shooting that if they're stumbling or having issues or mentally struggling, anything like that?
I mean, it's hard to say um, because not everything like the breathing techniques, can or calms everyone down. It's not the same for everyone. I think maybe Niels uses something different. Maybe some other players use some other techniques or whatever. But I read a lot of books from other athletes about different breathing techniques, and it fit me very well. I like it a lot. One is called the 5-5-7. So you breathe in for 5 seconds, you breathe out for 5 seconds, and then like like stop for 7 seconds, and
Hold your
then the
breath.
same again. Yeah.
Yeah.
So hold your breath. Yeah, exactly. So that's the one I use the most. I do it like 3-4 times when it's a very tricky situation, and but yeah, I mean there are plenty of ways. But obviously it also comes with knowledge, you know. I mean, if you face the same situation 10, 15, 20 times, you know how your body reacts, you know. And then you got to find the right tools to work against it, you know, to calm it down and everything. So it's hard to say, but breathing techniques is the right thing for me.
5-5-7.
Your technique on a shot clock is dangerous because that's 17 seconds already that you're breathing.
No, of course I do it in the chair most of the time, you know. It's
Yeah.
but yeah, sometimes you even get too relaxed, you know, with certain. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes it's just crazy because sometimes I feel super nervous, but I'm playing perfect, and sometimes I feel super nervous and I twitch on every shot. You know,
Yeah.
it's strange, you know. You're not always in control of your body, you know.
Right.
And I mean, you in the end you gotta have confidence in yourself, you know. That's the most
Yeah.
important part. Have confidence because you've done it 1,000 times in
Right.
practice. You've done it 1,000 times in tournaments. So just keep that in mind.
We mentioned all the accomplishments. Albin, obviously, multiple time world champion in 9-ball, 8-ball, World Cup of pool, and then of course the Mosconi Cup. And so I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about that, considering that it is Mosconi Cup season. Before I jump into it, though, give me your thoughts on this rest of the world versus Team Asia and the way the past 2 years have gone.
I honestly haven't really watched a lot of it. Obviously, they got, how would you call it, smacked, whatever,
Yeah.
Yeah.
drilled, whatever. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I didn't see it coming, honestly. Who was on the team? It was, oh yeah, so it was, yeah, it was Skylar instead of Shane. It was yeah, I mean it probably should have been Josh. I think it would have been a
Yeah.
different
Sure. Of
story
course.
with Shane and Josh on the team. Fedor, Jason, and probably Fran or more. Oh no, Moritz probably.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean it's tough, you know. They get you get what was the last time the score? Same?
3
No,
was it
11-5.
or
11-5 a
11-6?
year ago, 11-3 this year.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. I mean they got to figure out something. So obviously what they are trying now is hopefully winning the Mosconi and come back stronger next year. Um oh sorry, no, it's rest of the world. Before
Yep.
it was Team Europe, right? So
Yeah.
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 But yeah, I mean Skylar, I think it was pretty much like a last minute pick. I mean, look, fair play to Skylar. He can play incredible pool, but obviously it was just different, you know, to play with your Mosconi Cup enemies, basically,
Yeah.
playing together, trying to have a good time, and but yeah, it's crazy because probably both teams didn't even bring the best teams or the best players.
Correct.
So it would have been amazing to see with Shane and probably Josh on the team if it would have made a difference or not. But yeah, it's a big loss.
You mentioned Shane, and you were teamed up with him in the Kings Cup years ago with Darren and with Mika. And obviously, listen, his Mosconi Cup struggles have been talked about every single year come this time of year. You know, so talk to me about how different Shane was. Well, I think it was what 2012. You know, when and he ended up getting the MVP
Yeah,
for you guys, winning Hill. Like, how much different was it for him competing with all of you guys, kind of having his back and that kind of strength as far as talent behind him?
that's funny. I don't even know the score anymore. The Kings Cup was it Hill?
I
Really?
think it was. I think I'm pretty sure it was Hill. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think we were celebrating very hard, so it was definitely close, but I don't remember the exact score. Yeah, it was a very nice tournament, you know. He just showed his knowledge, you know, especially about the break, because I think they were racking with triangle, and he showed us where the best spots to break from, where the because like a little bit outside the box, like outside the 9-ball box, they have now break from there, because then the balls get kicked more and they have more chance to drop. And yeah, he told us so many things about, also when he was always, even when I was playing doubles with Mika, he was checking the rack and telling us from where to break, you know. It was just because for me it felt like, what are you doing here? I mean, for myself, because it was actually should have been Niels instead of me, because he won I think it was 2015, not 12. I think it was after I got second at the World 9-ball. It was actually Niels who got invited, but he said he doesn't have time or anything. So I was the next one. And so I was there with Shane, Darren, and Mika, and obviously three legends, and me. You know, I'm not having any major one yet. So I was like, I feel strange, you know, being around them. And but it was great memories. It was a lot of fun with Mika, Darren, and Shane, and obviously a lot of laughs. And I learned a lot from all those three guys. And obviously, rest in peace to Mika. He was a great teammate there. I think I played doubles with him, and we won against, I think, Efren and Django. So yeah, great memories. And
Yeah,
yeah, it was
sure.
unexpected tournament for me to play in, but it was incredible.
What do you got, Mike?
So yeah, Shane, yeah, he has so much knowledge, and obviously now with the Mosconi Cup, I mean, how many losses did he have in a row?
A lot.
Like
Yeah, a lot, yeah, a
8,
lot.
10? I
Eight,
don't
yeah,
even know.
8 or 9. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, look, Shane for me is probably probably the greatest player. I mean, his achievements. I mean, he's still winning probably 10 tournaments per year. All those Americans, those small ones, you know, he's still grinding, you know, at every tournament, you know. It's crazy how much he's traveling through the US playing all those tournaments, you know. But when it comes to Mosconi, I mean, he had some great years, and I think on the WNT tournaments, I think he's playing the best he's ever played. He's always going at least like last 16 or quarterfinal or something, you know. He's super confident and consistent. But when it comes to Mosconi, I don't know. I feel like after day one or day two, when they're down by 3, 4 games, he loses the will, how would you say,
Drive. Yeah.
um the drive, yeah. So he doesn't really believe in it anymore, you know. And I think it was different with Johan as a captain, because Johan didn't let it happen to make him think like that, you know. And he really put them together as a team. And but yeah, I don't know what was the case why Johan was not captain after that anymore. But it's none of my business. But yeah, it was different. They were a different team. They were looking different, you know. I think they were also practicing different. And
Yeah.
so yeah, it's sad. I mean, I don't know, what was the score last year?
6, Mike?
6-5-6, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
6, something like that. 6, yeah.
It was over by day 2. I know that.
Yeah.
After
So
day
yeah,
2.
I mean, the last time I played, it was, yeah, we were up big time. It was like 6-0 or something. I remember. But yeah, then you kind of, I mean, it's not only Shane. You see them sitting up there with the phones, you know, and it's like it's just sad, you know. I mean, of course, Mosconi Cup is more like a show nowadays, some people would say. It's
Yeah.
not really a tournament anymore. But still, I mean, it's, first of all, it's big money. You represent your continent, your country, and of course you want to do your best and play your best also to impress your teammates. and do whatever it takes, to win. And it's only 4 days, so it doesn't matter how much you're up or down. I mean, there's always chance of a comeback.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on playing captains versus captains? You only played with captains, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The last one was Ralph.
Right.
Accurate. Yeah, it was Marcus, Alex, and Ralph. Why are you laughing?
Yeah.
No, I don't know how much Ralph told you guys about how to win, but Ralph pretty much just had to show up and make sure everybody was tanked.
Look, I don't want to say anything bad about Ralph. I mean, it was
No, I
I
wouldn't
think
either.
tough
But he didn't have to.
situation.
Yeah, it
No,
was just easy.
yeah, exactly. But we also told him, because we saw that he was maybe overwhelmed, maybe struggling, and obviously all of us have been there multiple times, we know how
All
this
winners.
works.
Yeah.
So we know how the preparation works. So we basically told him what he should do, and he did it perfectly. And it's not like we took over or something, but we just like minimized a little bit his job of being captain, but he did it perfectly. And and it worked out perfect. We all played incredible. And so if playing captain is good, I mean, obviously Jason knows how it works, it's good, but it's always good to have a second guy in the back room at the practice table, just if it's only setting up balls or whatever, or taking care of the shot clock. Of course, another player could do it, but also the other players need to focus, need to relax, whatever. So it's nice to have a second guy in the back room who takes care of the player who's coming up.
Not to dwell on someone who won't be in there again, but tell me what made Johan different, because he captained for you. He also captained for the U.S. So you were there firsthand for both sides of it. What made him different?
I never had Johan as a
Oh,
coach.
he was never your
For
coach.
me, it was Marcus. No, it was Marcus.
Okay.
But obviously, I mean, if you look at his like achievements, if you just look at the players like Niels, Nick, Fedor, obviously, I mean, he knows what it takes to make a great player, or a great team. And those 2 years, it was back to back, right? He was coach.
Yeah.
They won
18,
back to back, 18, 19. And so yeah,
He
they
lost
they
it
were just
first year, didn't he? He was 3 years altogether, wasn't it, Mike?
Yeah, he lost the first year.
Yeah.
He lost the first year. He was with USA. Yeah.
17.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, 17
Oh, 17 was
in Las
Vegas.
17 in Las Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't play this year. I didn't know that he was captain already there. But yeah, 18, 19, they were just different team. You could see that they have more drive. They have more. Yeah, they just enjoyed it more, and they were a better team. They were practicing better. They were always together,
Yeah.
and no joking around in a practice room like nowadays. And so yeah, maybe that's what they need, to get back on track. And but yeah, we'll see this year. I don't know. I mean, it's a little bit devastating. I didn't think it would go this way last year with the 11-6. I didn't see that coming. Who was the rookie last year?
No rookie. It was
No rookie last year.
Mickey.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. But he
Mickey.
had Reyes Cup to like warm up a little bit, I guess, if you would say.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, Race Cup. I think you cannot really, yeah, say it's same like Mosconi, but still, yeah, of course, to get a little bit together, to get the feeling a little bit. But yeah, it was very unexpected. 11-5 or 11-6, whatever it was.
Yeah.
This year, 2 rookies in Europe. I don't know. Is the team set already for America?
For America, no. For Europe, yes.
So it's Moritz, Pius, Jason, Josh, and David.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right. And America is either Billy or Lucas, I guess.
Correct. That's what it seems to be. Yeah.
All right, all right.
So
Yeah, I mean, I don't see Skylar picking Lucas over Billy. Obviously, they're best buddies, and obviously Billy also proved that what he is able to do at Mosconi Cup. I think also since he's sober, he's playing better pool again, feeling better. Lucas, I mean, I've played him under pressure. I saw him many times doing maybe or just doing wrong decisions, whatever. It's just small things. Um, but also they both didn't win anything yet, so it's hard to choose. You want fresh blood or someone who has a little bit more experience. It's hard to say. But yeah, for Europe, it's gonna be fun. Obviously, Moritz. I think he will do fine. Same with
yeah,
Pius, but you never know. You know, it
until you get in
can
there,
hit
yeah,
you. It can hit you. For me, I think it's easier in Europe to be as a rookie than in Vegas
yeah.
because you guys are something else. uh,
Look at the guy who's talking over here, Mike. Considering the Europeans.
Oh no, but I mean,
um,
you said before that you prefer to play in U.S. that you enjoy that more.
yeah, the atmosphere is just
Yeah,
I think you cannot compare with Europe because not many Americans are flying to Europe,
right.
but many Europeans are flying to the
Yeah,
US and they just try everything to be as loud as the Americans, even though if they have no chance. But also the Americans are more brutal when it comes to like a little bit mind plays, mind games, say some little inappropriate stuff, between shots. Obviously, they do it also in Europe,
yeah,
but when it's in Europe, the European players don't really hear it.
What was the
yeah.
one?
Right,
What was the one for
right.
Albin, Mike? Was it Jasmine's brother all the time, if I remember
Yeah,
right?
everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Nice legs, nice hair. Your sister is better. Everything. Yeah,
Who,
just
who remembers, right?
yeah.
Albin,
Every
I want to get you out of here on this. Give me your prediction. Give me your score line you think for this year's Mosconi Cup.
yeah. It's. I think they might struggle a little bit the Europeans with the two rookies. Obviously, David, crazy experience. Josh back, and I think super, super excited to be back. I think he's gonna go crazy in there.
Yeah,
Same
yeah.
with, I mean, Jason has some had some drama lately on one table setups or just TV tables. Some heavy losses. Hopefully, he can do better there. Also now in Qatar. He didn't qualify for last 64,
Correct.
but yeah, I mean, I hope it's gonna be close. So I hope like at least 11-8 Europe.
It's a
Yeah,
lot. It's a
that'll be
lot
good.
closer than what
That'll
I'm
be a good
thinking.
showing.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
want
because
to
it
ask.
seems like it's. Go ahead,
Go ahead.
Mike.
No, no, go
No, no,
ahead.
no. I was going to say it just seems
Uh,
like it's lost its edge, Albin. Like you mentioned, and especially with them now pairing up with Team Rest of the World, seeing Sky and Jason together, and all
yeah,
these things. Like it seems like the fire that once was, and even today, looking at Matchroom's social media, right when they're posting like a video of a Mosconi Cup that was, it's like, man, that does not seem anything near like the level of intensity and competition that I'm seeing these days.
Yeah, we talked about with other players who played already 15 years ago, and they said, yeah, it's more of a show now.
yeah,
I mean, that's what I would never do. I mean, I do maybe celebrate if I have an easy nine to win a match. I do something small, but I would never jump around. But that's just not me. I
Right.
mean, some others have to like let it out in this moment, if the pressure builds up or something. I
yeah.
fully understand, but sometimes I think it's just a little bit too much show.
What do you
Yeah.
got, Mike?
Well, I want to send Albin out with a question that I've been thinking about. Now you've won your. This is not Mosconi related at all. Now you've won your third world title with the 8 ball, 2 9 balls. You've got all your Mosconi cups. You've got. have you started to, or have you ever kind of looked at your career in a broader perspective of where it stacks into where it's stacked with other players? Where is that, those thoughts ever gone through your mind?
Um, yeah,
Honestly,
maybe a little bit. Yeah, yeah. I mean, maybe a little bit. It's not like I look at this player's career and mine and say, all
you
right,
know,
mine's better than
I don't
yours,
mean
blah blah
that. I
blah.
just mean
No, no, no. Of
you know,
course, of course. We just always like with Josh, we always joke around that we kind of always win the tournaments after each other. Like if I won this one, he wins it after, or maybe 2 years after. Like he won the World 8 Ball. Now I won the World 8 Ball. I won the European Open. He wins the European Open now. World 9 Ball, he wins the World 9 Ball, and so on and so on. That's pretty much only, or China Open. I won China Open. He won it now twice or something.
Yeah.
yeah,
So, so yeah, we were just joking around a little bit. But it's not really I compare careers with each other. I mean, there are so many great players I'm still looking up to. Of course, there are also tournaments I still wanna catch one day.
Like what?
Like yeah, probably US Open or something. It's
yeah,
just such a prestige event. It's such a impressive name. US Open with so much history in any sport. It's just something
yeah,
you want to have on your list, on your bucket list. Um, but I couldn't be more happy and proud right now what I've achieved. I would have never thought I could go this far, win this much. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to what's coming up. I'm still working hard on myself. Um, Maybe, like I said, it's a light at the end of the tunnel now, and I'm working on it to make a bigger comeback, not only winning the World 8 Ball.
yeah. Good,
Well,
good. Yeah, because it's a great career to look back at. I mean, you can
Yeah,
look at it and
absolutely.
say, just I'm really proud of what I've accomplished. I mean, what I've done is pretty impressive. Every once in a while, that as you get a little bit older, now you still have plenty of years left in you, but you start to think about those things. I think.
No, no, of course you gotta sooner or later you gotta sit down and just remember what you have done, what you have sacrificed, to win those things. Because it's not always easy. The people see you traveling, winning big money. But yeah, we're also practicing. We're traveling almost 200 days per year. We're still practicing the rest of the year. We're practicing at home. So it takes a lot of work, a lot of passion, a lot of patience and sacrifices, to go where we're all at. So it would be nice if the people would appreciate more when someone is not winning for a year.
no.
Yeah, no doubt
You
about
hear
it.
that, Mike? He was talking to you when he's saying that, buddy. Right?
Yeah, you deserve a little. No, and it's you talk about the what you sacrifice and give up and what has to go into it, and that's what makes a long career like yours even more impressive. Is that you can see a lot of players who really dial in and get that focus. A year, everything happens for them, but it's so much harder to do it the next year, and it's so much harder to put in the same amount of practice the year after that, and the same sacrifice the year after that, and to do that 10, 12, 15 years in a row. That's a
Mm.
that's a that's a hard thing to do. That's all professional
Yeah, yeah.
athletes will tell you
I mean,
what
I
that's
mean, and
like.
there are also players who started same time like me, but have not won a single major yet.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I'm
right.
complaining of not winning one for 1.5 years. And I've won like, I don't know,
You're wired
15 or
different.
something with Moscone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's crazy. So sometimes you gotta stay cool, know where your place is at. But yeah, I mean, some players maybe never win a major and work as hard as I
yeah,
do, or even harder. So yeah, it's
yeah.
it's crazy.
It's a grind.
Well,
Yeah.
well, listen, I appreciate your time. It's always a pleasure having you
Very
on.
welcome.
I don't
It
think
was
I've
my
had you on
pleasure.
since last year at Moscone Cup, and then I got in trouble for having you on during that time as well. So, uh, anyway, Alvin, I genuinely
Absolutely.
appreciate it. Go enjoy the vacation with the family. Much
Yes, thank you very
congratulations,
much.
and can't wait to have
Thank
you
you
on again,
guys.
man. We'll see you,
Thank you.
pal.
Take care. Bye bye.
Sure.
Mike, I always enjoy talking to that guy, Mike. If I'm being honest with
Yeah,
you,
you know, he's so thoughtful with his words about what he said. He's so open and honest about,
honest. That's the
you
thing,
know,
Mike.
being in situations like that after he's been in them a million times and saying, I didn't know which ball to shoot. I don't know. You know, and it's refreshing to hear someone admit that, because it humanizes it, right? I mean, it's real. It's like these guys aren't machines. No matter how many times they've won, they can get in a situation where it's like, man, I could barely hold the cue, and he's always very open and honest about that.
We're working on Uncle Mike's connection. I think it's more my computer than it is Mike's internet. So hopefully I'm going to upgrade the laptop here pretty soon, and we'll get that situated. But yeah, no, Mike, to your point, well, I love the honesty part when it comes to Albin. And if you talk to him without like knowing who he is, right, and what's on the resume, like you would think he hasn't won in 5 years, the way that he can like get down on himself sometimes. But I think it just comes to the level of expectation that he holds for himself, and that's the part that like I just admire more than anything, because it's like he's constantly, especially in this age where like listen, there's a lot of soft players, a lot of guys who coast, a lot of guys who just don't have the edge. Albin is constantly having that edge, but it's more about like that pride that he takes in his own game, in his own like level of perfection, if you will. Does that make sense, Mike?
Yeah, it does, and it's kind of points a little bit to what I was talking about with, you know, what kind of commitment and drive you have to do that year, to have that same motivation and that same work ethic, year after year after year for a decade plus. That can take a lot out of a guy. And that's why you see some guys kind of like, you know, throw it into cruise control a little bit, or you know, just sleepwalk through part of a year or a whole year, something like that. So yeah, he's a winner.
That he is, and he wants it, man. You know, like every time you can tell he just wants it. Like I can't remember a match where, you know, you'll see him kind of two stroke it and ship it. You know, and it's just like he's of that. He's one of the last guys of that former generation, but he's also still got a lot of gas left in that tank as well, as far as like just, you know, wanting to win, like no matter what, and not settling for anything less than like his own standard, which is awesome, you know. And so,
Right.
Was super happy for him to see him win another world championship. That phrase, like we talked about many times, kind of gets tossed around a little bit on the show. But it's something for a guy like him to be in that many world championship finals, that kind of consistency, you know. And it's like, and for him, the letdown is just not having won a major in a year and a half, when it's like, you know, some guys would give their left arm to win one. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, Mike, I told them we were going to have him on for like 20, 30 minutes, and then it just went on. But I love it, though, because I love just having.
Yeah, I'm never gonna cut him early because he's too good.
No, never. And I like he's very thoughtful in the things he says, and he means them. Like a lot of guys, you'll kind of, and we know this, like they'll say all the right things, they'll say what they're supposed to say, you know, they'll play the game, all these things. But with Albin, it's like he'll tell it like he feels, you know. And so I got a lot of respect for that as well. Yeah. Mike, it was a great weekend in sports. Like we talked about on this show when it came to World Series Game 7, but there was another great event happening this weekend in pool, the Qatar World 10 Ball. Give me your thoughts on Jonas. Give me your thoughts on the event as a whole. It was an Emily sighting at a 10 ball tournament. There's a lot of things to talk about when it comes to this event, my man.
It was an interesting event. I mean, it was a good event. Great, you know, solid field.
Yeah.
A lot of guys chased a big payday, and a lot of guys got left out. I mean, you know, the Joshes were there, the Federers were there, the Shanes were there, you know, the FSIs were there. All these guys were there, were nowhere to be seen in the late stages of the tournament. And so, you know, all the credit has to go to these guys who grind their way through it. Then you get Jonas, who had to go through the qualifier system, right, to get into the stage 2. And I was looking it up, and
he didn't even get in on qualifiers, Mike. He missed out on all the qualifiers. No,
yeah, he did. There were 2 for each qualifier that got in, right? And or no, 4 from each qualifier. There were 4 qualifiers. 4 guys got in the top. He played in all 4 of them, His best finish was 5th through 8th twice. And he finished 16th once. He finished 33rd once. And then there was some extra spots that came open.
I think it was like by points or something based off of the qualifiers, like how much you accumulated.
Yeah. But I think that those spots must have come open late for those extra spots because it was originally going to just be 16 from qualifiers. And so they must have had some extra spots, and then they started going through points based on the 4 qualifiers to let, I don't know how many more people in. I'm trying to find that out. But he was one of those, and he didn't think he was even getting in. And then he goes and gets in and runs the freaking table. It's ridiculous.
77 Billiards had a great write-up on it and was mentioning the fact that, like, I think somebody else said it was supposed to get that spot based off of points, and then he ended up, because the guy couldn't play or for whatever reason, wasn't around or whatever, he dipped out. So then that put Jonas on deck, and it's kind of serendipitous. Like it's very romantic when it comes to sports. The guy who qualifies to do it, and like for me, Mike, like I bring up how much I just love like the sport aspect of it, right? And don't get me wrong, we can focus on the drama and the bullshit and all these things, but like I saw this interview with McIntyre after he beats Carlo, and you just hear like this very sincere, like almost like childlike reaction of like, I did it, like I beat him, you know what I mean? Yeah. And like you can hear and you can see like what it meant to him, to just get over that hump as far as being able to beat Carlo, then for him to parlay that into the win. Had a fucking brutal road to get there. Oy, Moritz, Carlo. I mean, you name it. Curao was playing fucking great as well, But it's like to see that reaction is why I love pool, Mike. Like and he hadn't even snapped it off yet, He was
a long way from the finish line at that point.
Yeah, but like you heard it in his voice, like you heard like the shaking in his voice.
You felt like he felt like he already won the tournament just by beating Carlo in that situation on Carlo's birthday. Thank you very much. But
it's very like there's like just certain moments where I just reflect on those things or like just catch an eye for hearing certain things. I remember talking with Oscar when during the U.S. Open, he was there with Pops, and Ernesto had told him after the match, like that's how I want to see you play, and what that meant for him, as his son, to like have his dad go and tell him that. It's like certain things in sports and in life that just transcend, and hearing that was just awesome. I couldn't be happier for that young man, Mike.
Yeah, no, just amazing stuff.
It was a hard road, $100,000 payday. It was just it's the who's who of players. That's what makes it even more special as well. We know Filipinos play 10 ball all the time, and that's like there's like a few things you do in the morning, right? It's like you brush your teeth, you have some eggs, and then you break a rack of 10 ball in the Philippines, and so but like to see him go and get across that finish line was just awesome. Along with that, Mike, Moritz also had a great tournament, lost in the semifinals of that. You mentioned to me earlier in private about the year that he's had, and I kind of want to pick your brain on that as well.
I mean, he's a couple of matches away from being a player of the year contender, right? I mean, he wins Perry, runner up in Hanoi, gets to the Final Four here, in the Final Four where he had to be the favorite of the Final Four. You had Oy, Simon Corral from Poland, and Jonas. So on paper, he was the favorite on the Final Four. So, he's certainly this whole second half of the year, he's been, as hot as, Yep was during the middle of the year. So
it's a good comparison.
Yeah, he's right. He's right there right now. I don't. That's why. And I saw him. We watched him during the Reyes Cup, and he certainly didn't look any moments were too big for him. And the Reyes Cup is not the Mosconi Cup, but in terms of getting out there under the gun, single table, playing for a team, playing for teammates, things like that. He did not look, even the least bit shaky. Now, and I expect that to be the case in the Mosconi Cup. I don't expect him to have virtually any issues. I don't know whether I could say the exact same thing about Pius at this point, but we'll see once it gets under. And who knows, Marit's shaky, the first day or so in an alley pally crowd. But Maritz is he's playing like the real deal for a long time to come.
Yeah, I mean, if you would have just kind of similar to that Albin question, like if you would have just looked at body language, right, or just like the way that they appeared on television, and you compared him to Fran during the first 2 days of the Reyes Cup, or 2.5 days, whatever it was, and you would have asked like who's been out there more, who's had more experience in that type of environment. I would have picked Moritz because he looked very like he belonged, where Fran looked very, very shaky, and so. But it's the credit to Moritz and really just the level of European talent in general, But even though you can have like major success, it's like to be able to apply that and have that same kind of consistency in that team arena and that team environment is a whole different animal. Like I expect him to do really well out there in the Mosconi Cup. And even though like on paper he's a rookie, it's like you better watch out, Team USA, because that rookie is no joke right now. He's playing outside of like anybody not Asian, he's probably playing the best pull right now out of everybody else. You know what I mean? So
yeah, no, he is for sure. If you get out of Asia, you go to Europe and the US, he's playing the best of anybody for sure. And if you're Team USA, you try to find out where he's going to be in that first day or so, and you load up some guys against him and hope you can get a little shake out of him. At the start of the tournament, I think that's about the best you can hope for, because I don't see him being too worried.
I don't know where it's going to come from, Mike, because he's kind of like similar to Fran in his first year having David. Moritz is going to have Jay there, and he's going to have the guy who he won the World Cup of pool with as well. We expect Josh to be announced pretty soon as well. So it's like he's going to have a lot of familiar faces on the left and on the right of him to kind of help keep him centered. And so if he doesn't get micromanaged, then I think the sky is the limit for him, no pun intended, and I'm excited to see how he goes and performs. Like the process as far as MVPs is a little odd and awkward and skewed because it's depending on how many matches you get. But I personally, like if I had to say as far as when to put rookies in, I wouldn't mind throwing them to the Sharks right off the bat, because it's like, let him get his feet wet. I already got a lot of confidence in him right now. He's hitting on all cylinders. I mean, he's just checking all the boxes without a doubt, in my opinion, anyway.
And you still got guys who can got his back if it doesn't go well. So it's you're not leaning on a rookie like the U.S. the first year Federer was with them. It's like, he's our rookie. He's going to be our salvation. That's too much heat to put on someone who's not been in there before. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's about as ideal a spot as you can ask for. What were some of your other takeaways, Mike, of Qatar? I talked about leading into the topic about Emily being there. Give me your thoughts on that, as far as why do you think she was at a 10-ball tournament in Qatar?
Well, I mean, she was invited. She was invited by the Qatari Federation, but then the question is, why did they send an invite to her? So there's something other than, we just want someone to come and fill up our front row. So who knows? Maybe they're, we had heard over the last couple of years, even this year, that the World Cup of Pool was possibly going to be in Qatar. So obviously there's no World Cup of Pool this year, so it's not going to be in Qatar. But maybe there is something coming up looking forward, whether it's a World Cup of Pool, World Pool Masters. I don't know whether they get an open event in there or not, but I don't know. I watched the events. The stream was really good on the World Cup 10-ball. I didn't get the impression there was much of a crowd there, so I don't know, how that stacks up for a World Cup of Pool or something like that.
Well, I think historically there's never really been that many people in general, anyway. At least in my opinion, anyway, at a World Cup pool. Even though, like,
you're always hoping to build an event where people want to come and watch it.
Oh, sure, yeah. So I love the fact that she was there, and it's for a number of reasons, Mike. One, of course, I want to get the World Cup pullback, right? So, like any little bit of hope that I could have there in that regard, I'm gonna cling on to for dear life, because I missed that event. It's fun. It's a different dynamic, and it allows for different levels of talent to be there. And so, but along with that, I like her being there and kind of showing some respect to events outside of the World Nine Ball Tour as well. And I'm sure there was a financial motive for being there, and I'm sure they were talking business and buttering them up and trying to make a deal happen in some aspect. But like just the fact that you can respect other events, I think is hopefully anyway a great sign of things to come. But along with all the drama over the last few years, we know how close the ACBS and QBSF are with the WPA, and so you'd imagine that if any kind of deal was going to be done for an event, that I would take away from that the fact that the WNT and WPA relationship is going to remain intact for another year at least.
Well, we got to hope so. I mean, I don't see why. I mean, I don't think the WPA has any interest in, turning down a renewal.
Right.
And to me, it would be counterproductive at the least, say the least, for them to turn it down too. In fact, my hope is that they bolster the deal, is that they go to a full sanctioning setup with the WPA if they can get that and still maintain control over their product. Then it helps everybody because then they're not kind of second fiddle to sanctioned events like they were this year.
Like I said, I'll cling on to whatever little hope that we can, until shown otherwise, But that to me was, especially like given all the 10 balls irrelevant this, 10 balls irrelevant that, like over the last few years.
Well, that's always been Carol.
No, hell no, Mike. Let me go back in time for you a little bit, because there's, we can. But anyway, I digress. We'll take the positives with it. Hopefully, like I said, there'll be news on the horizon. I'm hopeful we'll get some more events back. Hopefully that we keep at least the same events we had this year still intact on the calendar. And like the production side of it was great. I mean, the arena looked nice. The streaming was great. Following the matches was awesome. The level of talent was great. Like this is what I want sports to be. I want more Jonas stories to come through. I want to see these guys who get in on qualifiers. And that was the other like ironic part, like seeing her post taking the infamous Emily selfie with Jonas, mentioned qualification and all these things. And in my head, I'm thinking it's a little ironic using that word, you know what I mean? At least to me anyway. But, like I love that about sports, Mike. I do. I love seeing Cinderellas, even from watching an NCAA tournament or, the Blue Jays coming back from being the last place to being in the World Series. It's like you can't, if you just leave it alone and let sports be what it'll be, it can be real special, and so I hope that
future Jonas would have if he's got good social media numbers.
Oh, I mean, this guy. I mean, listen, Emily be building him a statue outside of Essex or wherever the headquarters is. You know what I mean? So, but no, like I said, I'll all joking aside, let's hope for positive things. Yeah. What were your other takeaways out of that event, Mike? And then I'll get out of here.
What's that?
I said, what were your other takeaways with it, along with Jonas and everything?
Not really a lot. It was good to see new faces in there. It was good to see. I was pulling for Oy because I still want to see him pull something off.
Didn't you tell me he was up like 5 or 7-0, and then what happened?
5-0 and 7-1.
Going to 10?
11.
Okay, still.
Yeah, then it went south. I didn't see him like drilling balls into rails till it got to 9-9, and he had an out, and he didn't get out, and then lost 11-9. But he was up 5-0, 7-1, 8-4. The end was in sight.
The heat can get to him, and I'm a big Oy fan like you. Like he's an easy guy to root for. And But like I've seen it in events, and that's whatever I text you as well, Mike. Whenever you mentioned Oi, it's like I've seen him in World 10 balls get to like semis and finals, and then him just like disappear. And a lot of it comes down to at least some of the matches that I've seen. I'm not saying this tournament because I didn't watch that match, but it's been nerves. You know what I mean? Where like the moment can swallow him up,
Yeah.
and so it's cool seeing like opposite ends of the spectrum, right? Like guys who have been around for a while, guys who are Cinderellas come in and snap the whole thing off. You know, even the young Polish kid, Kural, who he's been around for a long time, been knocking on the door as well, like being that probably like sixth or seventh Polish, maybe even a little further down, you know. But for him to make a finals appearance is awesome. And
he's the youngest of the group too, right?
yeah, I mean they're just stacked. I mean Babika, Maciel, Wojciech, um,
I think junior world champion just a few years ago.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean it's great seeing like progress and continued like successes as well, and taking next steps and all these things, you know. And so but all in all, like nothing better than a good Cinderella story for me, Mike. We obviously heard about Jonas before in the past, but for him to kind of follow that up with a like decisive victory, and it was beating Moritz the way he did, and then of course winning in that final the way that he did, beating Carlo, beating all these huge names, man, and then just seeing like that raw, genuine reaction. If you know the guy, Mike, put in a word because I want to get him on the show. He seems like his English is pretty well, and so I'd love to chat with him.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of these, you know, when everything got out to Asia, and we were like, okay, we're going to see a lot more of these Filipinos showing up playing this, and we, you know, because we've talked about Filipino players and cab drivers for a million years, and man, it seems like every tournament a new one was popping up deep.
But yeah, and I mean, listen, he ain't got AJ social media numbers, but he's got a lot of talent. You know what I mean? So anyway, I digress. I can't help it. It's just low hanging fruit. You got anything else before we get out of here, Mike?
Oh, all good.
All right, I'm going to try to have more shows this weekend. I missed out on getting Kelly last night, but I'm going to try to get her this evening. So make sure and stay tuned for that. I'm excited to talk to her. She's out there in Brisbane, Australia. So we'll have her on to chat about a few things as well. I'm looking to still get on JR from the Marboy, so I'm going to reach out to him, Mike, and try to line that up, and then try to get more players on too. You know who else I want to talk to, Mike, is Kazakis. You know, that dude was in back-to-back finals of world championships. He seems to be doing well in life and well on the table. So I want to try to get him on as well. So
great.
You got anything else, Mike, before we get out of here?
Nope, all good.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us. Really appreciate the sponsors. Really appreciate Albin. Congrats again to Jonas, and we'll see all you guys and gals later on.